What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. I got to talk about the Minnesota Vikings, man, because their haul in free agency has been, it might be the best in the NFL this offseason. Them and the Patriots, I think, have really just done an excellent job adding and building their teams the way they're doing it. But the Vikings in the NFC, I don't know if there's anybody better than them in the offseason this year because they knew what their issues were and they fixed all of them. Right, and in my opinion, they fixed every hole that they had. Now, I want to know, what do you think of the Vikings offseason? I think that these moves make them a championship contender before we even get to the draft. I think they have all the pieces to do this with one question mark. You'll probably know what the question mark is. It's J.J. McCarthy. We don't know how good he could be. So that is a giant question mark, to be fair, because it's quarterback. But ultimately, he's stepping into like the best situation a young QB's ever stepped into in the last, 15 years. And so let's talk about these moves. Let's talk about these guys that they brought in and these weaknesses that they shored up and fixed and might have even turned into strengths. Because their interior O-line was terrible last year with like Ed Ingram, Garrett Bradbury. Those guys were buns last year. They bring in a veteran center and Ryan Kelly. That's one of the best things you can give a young quarterback is a veteran center that is good in pass pro. They got a bump right there with Ryan Kelly. You bring in Will Fries, who's a young guard who should be able to step in for Ed Ingram. And he's shown a lot of flashes. He got hurt last year after like 5 or 6 games. But overall, he looked really damn good in those games. So as long as he comes back into form, they just shored up the interior of their O-line. You hopefully get Christian Darrisaw back, and you can kind of, make things work there. But that O-line should be pretty solid now. Bringing in a young guy in Fries and then a veteran in Ryan Kelly, that's going to make things a lot easier to run the ball. It's going to make things a lot better in pass pro. It's going to make the offense was already really damn good. It's going to make that go to another level because it's just a different set of talent that is on that line. It's a major bump, in my opinion. And I think that they kind of looked at like what Philly did, where we're looking at it like, okay, that team's really nasty in the trenches. Maybe we need to figure something out there. Like, we can have our flashy players, right? You need that. But at some point, you got to hit somebody in the mouth. And I think that adding those 2 guys on the offensive line did that. The defensive line, the interior of the defensive line got a massive bump. Bringing in Jonathan Allen, who's a dog. He's been just a killer for the Commanders for so long. And then you bring in Javon Hargrave, who's a veteran, who I think he came off, it was a torn triceps last year. But overall, we know that man gets to the quarterback. I think he had like 25, 26 sacks over the previous 2 or 3 years before the injury. So if he comes back into form and plays as well as we know he can, him and Jonathan Allen on that interior is going to be nasty. That's a major bump to the interior of the defensive line. So I think they identified the trenches as like, we got to get better there if we want to win in January and in February particularly. So I love those moves. I would give all of these B pluses to A's because I like what Javon Hargrave can do. I love what Jonathan Allen does. I think Will Fries is a perfect young guard to bring in. That's a perfect move to splash on. And then you get I think it was 2 years, $18 million for Ryan Kelly to shore up your center position for a couple years. Solid. Very well done. Then you get to the secondary where they add a guy like Isaiah Rodgers, who's been really good when he was a Colt, and he was really solid for the Eagles last year. He can play slot. He can play outside. He's fast. Makes plays on the ball. He's a good corner to bring in as your cornerback 2, cornerback 3. That's a very quality option to have right there. And I like that. To adding to your secondary, give it a little more juice. And you you keep Aaron Jones, you keep Byron Murphy, so you keep a weapon on offense, you keep a weapon on defense. And Byron Murphy had a great year last year, so bringing him back was kind of a big deal. But you added, 4 or 5 guys in the trenches of your team and just revamped that depth. And you didn't really lose anything in the process. That's the part where it's I think they just got so much better. And they were already really good last year. I think they got a lot better with these free agency moves. And you're thinking about it, when you improve your 2 biggest issues and you don't really, I don't know what their weakness is other than the question mark at quarterback right now. But J.J. McCarthy's walking into the best situation I've seen in I don't know how long. He's coming into it with, obviously, he's got Kevin O'Connell, who's just a quarterback mastermind. Just offense always plays well when he's calling it. He's going to have Aaron Jones. They might even draft another running back. He's got the best receiver in the game. He has one of the better number 2 receivers in Jordan Addison. And he's got TJ Hawkinson another year removed from his knee injury with an upgraded O-line, a juiced-up D-line. And this team, what did they win, like 14 games last year? They won like 14. I think it was 14 games last year. And they had these 2 major weaknesses that I would expect them to be very similar in what they're able to do this year, but the fashion in which they'll win is probably going to be a little bit different. I think they've got it all. They've got it all, and if JJ is just like slightly above average, they're going to be one of the hardest teams in the NFL to beat because they have it everywhere. There's no weakness to like exploit, in my opinion. Who do you go at? Who do you like if you can't gash them down the middle? They have Allen and Hargrave there now. Right, and their linebackers have gotten better. And you have, I think this Dallas Turner should be getting another year, and he should get even better. They got it all. They got it all, and I love what they've done with this offseason because this is spectacular. To spend the money the way they spent it. Sure, you paid a premium to keep Byron Murphy, but dude had 6 picks last year and was pretty damn good in man coverage. You're not getting rid of that. You're not letting that walk. You bring in Jonathan Allen, who's going to shore up every part of that D-line, is a leader on defense. Your offense, the biggest thing for me is the offensive line. Because when they played the Rams, they got blitzkrieged by the Rams front 7. That's what happened to them in the playoffs. They took that and took it serious. They were like, okay, well, we're not losing like that again. So I like this. Fries and Kelly on the O-line, Allen and Hargrave on the D-line. You bring in Isaiah Rodgers. You already have Justin Jefferson, the best receiver in the league. Jordan Addison's freaking elite number 2. This is about as perfect as it's going to get for any quarterback coming into a situation. So if he doesn't play well, then you know you don't have the guy. That's my honest opinion. I think they put everything where it needed to be for them to have a great year and the rookie quarterback to be able to coast a little bit, not have all the pressure on him. This is a job well done for the Vikings, in my opinion. Let me know how you feel about the Vikings offseason. What's your favorite move of their offseason? Personally, I love the Ryan Kelly move, as unsexy as it is as a 32-year-old center. But just getting somebody that's played the game so long and has all that experience to be in front of your rookie quarterback, that goes so far under the radar so many times, and it's going to keep the offensive line in check. That's my favorite move. Honestly, I love Jonathan Allen too, but I think that one is like the most, like I think it's the safest floor move that they made. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you like this kind of content, please like the video. I appreciate you for watching. Let me know what you think about the Vikings or other teams. Tell me about other teams because I think the Bears had a really good one too. There's a lot of teams that are doing a lot of good stuff, and there's some teams that are not doing a lot of good stuff. So, but the Vikings, they're on the good side of the coin in my opinion. But I'm done. Peace.